Support for Greater Chattanooga is provided by EPB Fiber Optics and UNUM.
Everything about racing just draws you in, from the sound of the engines to the rumble of the earth, the dirt peppering you in the face and the wind blowing through your hair, to the smell of the fuel. Once you're in it and you're hooked forever.
The rush when you're side by side going through the corners.
You know, the track's a circle. You got to start finish line and you keep coming back to that same place, so you're trying to master that circle.
Just think of the best roller coaster you've ever been on, and that's about what it's like.
It's just always been part of my life. All my friends, all my family. I joke that, you know, I have lots of blood relatives, but my true family's here in the dirt.
All right, guys, let's go.
Racing community, I tell people we're a culture of our own. And, you know, it's not for everybody, but, man, it's close-knit.
A lot of people do think, you know, just, oh, they just dirt track race, they're a bunch of rednecks and, you know, that kind of mentality, but it's really not like that. We have factory workers all the way up to lawyers and engineers. We have them all. I think that's what also makes it great because, you know, everybody buys the same ticket.
It can't just be about watching us race, you know, watching the competition. You know, it has to be, you know, a connection among the culture that we are.
You're like a hometown hero to them, you know, it's pretty crazy. You know, people actually keep up with you and you're just a local guy, but they love racing so much that, you know, they can come hang out with you. That's something you can't do in the big, you know, the big league.
My grandfather is E.A. Boyd, and he loved racing and always wanted to build a track locally. It was actually supposed to be closer over to Spring Creek area here in East Ridge, but there was a councilman who was adamant that he was not going to build such a ruckus here in East Ridge. We have the pits in Tennessee and the track is in Georgia. That way the councilman couldn't say anything about the track's location. So he broke ground in 1951. Our first race was October 5th of 1952. It's a hallowed ground. It really truly is. You know, when it comes to racing, this is a hallowed ground. It's family, it's brothers and it's father and son and, you know, son-in-laws and, you know, everybody gets involved and everybody falls in love with it.
Well, I grew up around it. My dad raced.
When I think of a dynasty, especially here in Chattanooga, I think of Joe Lee Johnson and his son Ronnie. I mean, they have done so much for Chattanooga racing and, you know, Joe Lee won the very first World 600 at Charlotte.
There was a point when I was about 13 or 14 or so that I'd sit in junior high school and wish the rain away on a Friday, you know, hoping somebody'd come and get me, take me out to the woods to watch him. I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. My mom was totally against it. She's in tears immediately because she had seen him upside down and on fire and in hospitals, and he had seen us all do without because of the racing. But I think he was hoping that I'd see it as a hobby or maybe I'd grow tired of it or whatever, and that was in 1973. I mean, it is my life. It's not just an important part of it. If there's a decline in what we're doing, it's because the world has changed. I don't think there's as much interest in the automobile as there was.
Some of those little memories are kind of dwindling away, and so getting younger children into the sport is a really important thing because if we don't have the youth, then we're not going to continue to have our sport. And Josh is one of our younger racers here at Boyd's in the Sportsman Division.
Dad and I, and like, well, we want to go watch a race. So we went Friday night, really enjoyed it, and I said, if I come back, I'll have a race car.
Josh is type of guy, he don't like to be a spectator, he wants to be involved. So the next time we went, we had a car.
When I first started, you know, I couldn't tell you where the flag stand was or what corner I was in. It went by so fast, you know. And then over time now, I can tell you if somebody's waving at you in the stands. But I RC raced when I was a kid. That's what my dad and I done. We raced for years.
You can prep for hours and hours and hours, and you can pull out there and hot laps and something crazy happen and you're done for the night. And that's just the roll of the dice and the gamble. And I think that's a big part of the draw with racing, is because it is such a gamble.
Yeah, I'm not scared as far as danger. I mean, yeah, there is some bad wrecks and all, but I mean, there's danger in anything you do.
I didn't think a wheel would break or this would happen. When he started tumbling, I kept thinking, I hope he lands on his wheels. And when he landed upside down, then you're wondering if he's okay.
It was definitely a ride of my life. Fans want to see if you're okay. Mainly my dad, he was back there. I want to know that my emotions were good and I was okay. The ride, though, I'm telling you, make you think about them 2 kids in the house. So.
Cars can be replaced, but I just want to make sure he was fine.
We've always done everything together, even when he's little. And racing really fit both of us because we both work on cars for a living.
It's fun. Dad and I, we work together, we race together. We just always had a good bond. Seeing them when you come in and give you a thumb up, it's pretty cool. There's no greater feeling than when you please your dad. What's up?
We ran second there, and the guy that won the race got DQ'd over a rule infraction, and so we get the win, and happy for that. But the shoe's been on the other foot before, and there's an unlimited amount of techniques that you can apply to try to master that circle out there.
There's hundreds of guys somewhere tonight working on somebody's engine that's just got to have that engine for this weekend. They're probably missing a dance recital or a ball game or a birthday party or something, and they're hoping that they're going to be forgiven. They're hoping that we've all hoped that we're going to come home and our stuff's not sitting out on the porch because we've gone racing. But it's what you do. You put all of this into it. You put your heart and soul into it. Every one of us do. The flagmen, the car owners, the sponsors, the fans, they all have a passion for this sport. I know guys that I race with right now about once a month. They're this is it, I'm done with this, quit. And they'll call you on Thursday. Hey, who's racing tomorrow? It's what we do.
I hope we last forever. This is my grandfather's legacy. This is his blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, this is a lot of people's blood, sweat, and tears. It takes all of us to keep the sport alive, every single person.
If you're a fan of Greater Chattanooga, support it. Becoming a sustaining member of WTCI is easy and affordable, and it makes a big difference. Visit greaterchattanooga.org/donate. Thanks.